cast and crew?
Can I call them up here? Obviously Vera Meow, who's the co-writer, producer, Michelle Lawler, our cinematographer. Our producer, first AD, I don't know what all jobs he had. And Stacey Story, another producer. Amy McGrath, our editor, you wanna come up? And is anybody else here? I can't see anything, and I get nervous when I'm in front of people and forget stuff. So, no? Okay, cool.
Okay, well, why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about how the story came about, where you got the idea, what the inspiration was. Just give us the rundown.
Yeah, I mean, Vera and I were writing a horror movie together. Vera and I live in Los Angeles, and we take acting class together. And we were writing a horror movie, and we decided we didn't want to write a horror movie anymore, basically. And it was because acting in a horror movie can sometimes be a little bit stressful, and you go home at the end of the day and you want to shoot yourself in the head because you're exhausted and you've been crying all day. And we just decided maybe that wasn't what we wanted to do. Right, instead we wanted to produce our own movie and then shoot ourselves in the head anyway. So instead we decided to write this movie because we both love genre, we love apocalyptic movies, but we wanted to make a movie that was about female friendship, which there's not a whole lot of movies out there about that. Trust me, we tried to do our research, and there's like 5.
So in an era where a lot of people are now shooting digitally, you all chose to shoot on film, correct? Yeah. Now, was that a stylistic choice just for this story that you're telling, or was that a personal preference just to do like film or digital, or was it something else? What was it?
God, I think every person in this row could answer that question. Do you want to specifically talk about it, or? Sure. Yeah.
I think that it's a general consensus that we all love film and that we'd like to shoot on film as long as possible. And also just the tone of the movie felt really kind of gritty and like tangible in this way, and we all thought that Super 16 with the grain would just add a lot to the story and kind of make it come alive in sort of an authentic way. Yeah, do you want to add to that, Stacey Story, producer?
When in our early talks, it was the three of us and then you'd come on, and I remember when Vera threw it out, we were like, "You're crazy," because from a monetary standpoint, I knew what we were looking at, and at the time, of course, that's insane to shoot on film with such a small budget. But then when so I did plug all these numbers, but then when we took all these amazing meetings with these people, and I begged and pleaded in terms of my love of film, and we just kept saying to them that we wanted to prove to people that it was possible to make a small, amazing movie from the heart that was shot on film, and obviously it's possible, but we really just, when we took these meetings with people, we just really said to them, for the love of God, like, we want to not lose the tangible beauty that is film, and I think that it really shows across on screen and as the aesthetics of it, and of course, she knocked it out of the park with shooting a gorgeous, gorgeous film, but I just felt like it deserved it.
Even though we shot Fuji, Kodak was super supportive of this project. Like, they were just excited that we were shooting film on a micro budget, and I would just tell all of you who are filmmakers, if you want to shoot film, like, it really is possible. I mean, I know it's exciting to have a monitor and be able to roll for hours and hours, but like, you can shoot film. Yeah, totally. And if you just talk to Kodak and talk to different houses, like, they want you to shoot film, so it is possible. So keep the dream alive and shoot film. Thank you.
One thing that I would say is that Brian and I are first-time filmmakers, and this is an example of ignorance is bliss. We were told so many times we couldn't do the things that we wanted to do to make this film, and we sort of thought, well, we don't know that we can't, and we don't know that we can, so we might as well 50-50 shot, right? So give it a try.
So let's throw it to the audience. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, right there.
I noticed, excuse me, one of the characters is named...
Where's this video going?
It'll go on YouTube.
Okay, great.
You'll be super famous. I noticed that one of the characters is named Reba, and I noticed it's an anagram of your name. I was just wondering if you identify with that character in some way.
No, actually.
Okay. I noticed that too, and they were like, "Oh yeah."
We didn't realize that. We didn't realize that until after. It probably happened on an unconscious level, truthfully. Some of it was Reba McEntire, and then some of it is also there's so many iterations of the script with lots of different little things and jokes inside. My name is Vera, and I'm Chinese, and my family is actually mostly Chinese speaking, not English at all. But for some reason, they named me Vera, and V and R are two sounds that don't exist in the Chinese language. And so when they say my English name, it's a sort of a funny distortion, and I just kind of wanted to carry that over into this character, the affection and the love that I have for my family. And so the Reba was one of the names inspired by Reba McEntire that sort of evoked some of those kind of that affectionate play.
Cool.
R. Yeah, and then afterwards, long afterwards, we're like, Reba is actually Bria, just mixed up. So it was funny.
Yeah, we kept saying Breva and all sorts of
Yeah, you're right there.
I like the choice of the pacer. Can you tell us about that?
I'm just going to keep passing the microphone off because
Wait, I'm going to pass it to Stacy, but I'm going to say one thing before I pass it to Stacy. The AMC Pacer was voted by Time Magazine as one of the worst cars ever made.
It literally broke down 3 times a day. Like, I'm probably being generous.
3 days out of a very, very short show.
This is actually, I'll give you guys the short and long version. So we had this beautiful, I know, this is not an easy, this is not easy. We actually, well, okay, so when we got this gorgeous turquoise station wagon at first, this 1960s Toyota station wagon, and we kept thinking, I know, like the poster, we wanted to have this epic poster, and so we were like, this turquoise car would be great, right? So everybody moves to Texas and leaves, and I'm still running around with a grip truck and this 20-foot truck and trying to pick up equipment, and I get this call from the mechanic when I'm trailing the car behind me, and he says, I don't know how to tell you this, but the car is not moving, like literally will not drive. And I'm supposed to leave in like 4 hours. So I'm like sobbing in the car, like with my head, like literally, the ugly cry. We all know the snot running down your face. And I haven't slept in, 5 days, and I pulled into this place, and actually, I'll take this back. I ran into a car in the truck first, and then I pulled into the place because I was such in shock. And this is a very long story now. And then the short and the long, right?
Yes. So then as I'm crying at the grip truck company place, the guy walks out and he's like, and he actually thought I was like physically hurt because he did actually see me run into a car. And then he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm okay." I was like, "Can I just vent to you for 1 second?" Because I don't know this person. And I was like, "Yes, we just lost the car." And he's like, "Well, we have this amazing car that will work if," and I was like, "Does it drive?" Of course it doesn't. But I didn't know that. And he was like, "I can give you this car, but it's going to cost you a lot of money." And I was like, "I will work here for 6 months every day for this vehicle." And so he gave me the car, and and so I had to work it off for a little while. But that's how we ended up getting that vehicle. It was by chance, actually. But it worked out well.
Another question right there.
We can talk about the car all day for sure. I mean, I can't talk about the car because it makes me so angry, so I don't
Actually, I have to be a jerk right now and take Bria away. So I want to thank everyone for coming.
Let's do one more question. We'll do one more. My mom says one more second.
Where did the tie-in for the comic book come into the story? Was that always?
Yeah, I mean, Vera and I we both. I write comic books. That's something else I do. And Vera reads comic books, and so I think we became friends that way because we read similar books. And I mean, it was always something. I mean, it's just something that's like sort of part of our lives. So it seemed like a logical thing to have a character who is a comic book, who's not a comic book artist, but it is like a step. She's an inker, which is like not quite an artist. And not that there's anything wrong with inkers. I think they're fantastic. Obviously, you need them in the comic book world. But we wanted to give her a job that was like sort of tangential to comic books.
And I would also just add that the movie is Bria and I love horror. We love sci-fi. We love fantasy. We love apocalyptic stories. And we made this. This is a film about female friendship set with an apocalyptic context, right? But it's actually we really went the realistic route. We really talked about it in the sort of what happens in the 48 hours after something happens, that hush period. And I know for me personally, like the comics also are this amazing sort of glimpse into a fantasy world in a more of a realistic film. And you know, and I think that for me personally, that's part of what I love about comics. I love that Bria writes comics. Her comics, by the way, are amazing. And so that was a piece of it too. When she brought that into the story, it really resonated to it right away.
Okay, well,
one
more question. Okay, can we get another?
Bria's mom, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the back there.
I noticed in the scene where you had like the missing people photos and stuff, that there was some names in there like Dexter Avenue or Dexter.
I can't believe you noticed that.
I was like, ah! And I was wondering how many more I missed.
No, there was no more. That was a total. We had a very great art department, and we had an intern that worked in the art department also who made all of those. And I saw them, and I was like, oh my god, I hope no one ever notices that it said like Dexter. I think it said.
I think
had
it said
like
last season or something.
Yeah, it had a bunch of stuff from other. If you guys don't know, I was on Dexter for a while, and I've done. It had other things from other things I've done, and it was like not. And I was just like, well, let's just hope no one ever notices that.
I thought it was fun. Thank you. I thought it was fun.
Good. Thank you guys so much for coming.